The information continues to come for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, be it more gameplay, footage from the demo in TGS, or if it is thoughts and opinions from content creators. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a different approach. We're going to be going over some interview questions from various sources that have been kindly translated by the Shinra Archaeology Department over on X, formerly known as Twitter. So join me in today's video while we go over some of these juicy questions, and in the background I'm going to have some gameplay for you. Everything that I've used you will find in the links down below. And with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Got you covered with timestamps because we are going to be going over a lot of things, so if you want to jump to a certain section, feel free to do so. Whatever floats your boat, all I ask is for you to support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button. So let's just get straight into it. Now, as much as I would love to break down all of the footage that has come out of the previews for Rebirth, I highly suggest that you go over and check out other content creators on their thoughts and opinions, because they've actually played the game. We're just going to be going over some juicy questions and answers today. So let's just go straight into quote number one. Regarding whether Final Fantasy VII Rebirth depiction of events up to the Forgotten Capital means a certain tragic scene will be depicted, Nomura says he can't answer, but the game will indeed take us up to the very end of the Forgotten Capital. So the way I see this is that it's going to end on that massive scene, but the way that scene gets approached, we just don't know yet. And I feel like this may get combined with the summoning of Materia as well, because don't forget, before all this transpires, we have gone to the Temple of Ancients and gotten the Black Materia. Can you imagine this scene at the end? We have the Black Materia, we have Holy trying to be summoned, we have Cloud that's going out of his mind, and maybe we might have Zack on the scene, as well as Sephiroth coming from the skies above. So the next quote, Nomura says that the remake trilogy will include all locations from the original game. He said from the beginning he enforced a policy so no location would be deleted, even if the order would change or the volume of the content had to be adjusted. So what I'm getting from this is we're going to see everything, but it might not be in the same orders. We may see Medeal in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we might not. I still think Rocket Town is going to be saved for the third game, but we're going to see everything here, and it looks like from the footage as well, Fort Condor is definitely going to have a presence in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So next, Nomura says that the game's many locations are one reason Rebirth will be presented on 2 discs. When discussing whether to split up the project into 2 or 3 parts, the team agreed that the second would have to go up through the Forgotten Capital if there was going to be 3. So this has been confirmed in a lot of other interviews that we've seen as well. We get 2 discs, and one of them are obviously an install disc, but we're getting 150 gigabytes worth of data with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So this is truly going to be a massive game. Director Hamaguchi says that in addition to the gold source of minigames, there will be minigames on the world map, quest-specific minigames, and recurring minigames throughout the world, as seen in the latest trailer. Certain remake characters will make a comeback. As we already know, we're getting a lot of content, up to double the amount of story content we're getting in with the side content. So we're seeing from the gameplay that there's going to be specific hunts to hunt down, there's going to be Chocobo side quests, and everything else in between, including the gold saucer. We've got the Junon parade, and I expect to have some more surprises in there as well. Katase says that it's important to end Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in a memorable way that will set the stage for the third and final entry. The shocking scene in the Forgotten Capital, he believes they've done things in a way that will generate much anticipation for part 3. And I'm just taking like a lowball guess that we're going to see Black Materia, White Materia, Zack, Cloud, Sephiroth, all in one place to kind of reach the climax of Rebirth and set up for the third game. Nomura says that Zack is the key to the mystery they've worked into the remake project. He reiterates that the main through line of the story will follow the original, but a new mystery will run parallel with it. This highly implies that we've got like parallel universes just with that quote alone, but I believe it has also been confirmed in an IGN interview that we're going to have an episode Zack. So whether that weaves in and out like a Laguna Dream sequence, or it's going to be a specific chapter just dedicated to the Zack stuff. I'm hoping for the kind of in and out weaving in throughout certain story points just to see how Zack's getting along, but we will see. But it looks like he indeed is going to be playable, and again, he is quite vital to the arc of Rebirth. Tarse says that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will follow the flow of the original story, remaining largely unchanged, but beyond that there'll be parts that make you wonder, just like in Remake. He thinks that in a sense these will be more prevalent in Rebirth. Again, they're just kind of unhinging the mysteries that they're going to present in Rebirth, and you know what, I'm pretty excited. I could spend ages on guessing what those things could be, but time will tell indeed. Director Hamaguchi says that Rebirth's story is depicted as you adventure through the world map, from your departure from Midgar up to the Forgotten Capital, and the scenario is heavily centered around the characters' relationships. Therefore, he thought it would be best to have a battle system that matched the game's world and scenario, hence the focus on collaboration. It was Endo who proposed the coordination in both the action and ATB aspects of the combat. It looks like characters are definitely going to have moments, whether that's going to be Barrett with Red 13, Cloud with Aerith, Tifa with Barrett, Red with Yuffie, Kate Sith with whoever. They're going to have moments throughout here, and it's probably going to be reflected through the battle system as well. Maybe we unlock further synergy abilities, maybe there's some dialogue options. We know that the dating scene makes its return, so it's really interesting to see how they weave in and out the kind of dialogue with the characters and then going over to the combat of the characters. Director Hamaguchi says that one purpose of exploring the world map is developing your materia. This ties into the game's story. The idea is that as you progress, you'll be able to develop new materia. I'm going to kind of go back to something I talked about when I said that Kate Sith wouldn't be playable. I know I took the L on that one, but I said that Materia Fusion was going to return, and it's going to be done through the PHS or something that Chadley presents with you that you're going to take along through with your story. Will I be right? Again, time will certainly tell. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says that materia with two elements such as lightning and air materia will be relatively common. What he's really looking forward to people using is the so-called auto materia. With these auto materia, an AI will look at your MP and ATB and automatically uses abilities. Some will automatically perform synergy abilities or unique actions, dramatically altering the behavior of characters that you aren't controlling. It looks like they are kind of hitting this with a bit of a gambit approach. We're going to be given more customization over our characters that we're not controlling. So maybe if we really want to make Aerith into a pure healer, we can customize that so she uses those abilities at the right time. Really interested to dive in to everything combat. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says the game's world is pretty much all seamlessly connected, e.g. the Mithril Mine connects the grasslands to the Junon area. It features one large world map that contains the game's cities and dungeons, and I think through all the previews that we've seen that came out over the past 24 hours is that yes, this is going to be one connected world, and there's going to be various kind of choke points or smaller sections that will kind of get you to the next area but gives the game time to load it all in, so it does indeed feel seamless. I believe in another interview somewhere we will be traversing the ocean to a certain extent as well, so I am really excited the more and more I'm diving into this. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says unlike in the original game, there is no PHS to organize your party. Instead, all members move around as a group, making for a lively scene at all times that expands as you recruit more allies. Kind of links into what I was saying about Materia Fusion. I really feel like the PHS system is going to be used as just like more of a kind of communication device. We've seen that we get hunts and we hear a voice kind of telling us the lore of monsters after we're going these hunts, and I'm thinking that maybe this same system may be implemented so Chadley can communicate and give us missions, and maybe we can get like a Shimmer news section much like Crisis Core. They're just my hopes and very small predictions, but I'll be more than happy to take the L on them. Nomura says that in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Cid and Vincent will get the same treatment as Red 13 did in Remake. In other words, they will accompany the party as AI and won't be fully controllable until the third game. So I always believed that Cid was not going to join the party at all, and we were going to kind of see him, but he'll be doing his own thing and really wouldn't get involved with the party until the third game. It seems like I'm taking the L on that one, and we are going to get a certain thing. Whether we meet him in Rocket Town, I still don't think Rocket Town is going to be a thing in this game. It's going to be saved to the third game, but maybe we'll come across Cid along the way that might be doing some work or trying to still get into the space program of Shinra, and I'm interested to see when we will find out more about Cid. Director Hamaguchi stresses that no matter how far you advance in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth story, you'll still be able to return to any location you visited, including Calm, and side quests will remain available regardless of progression. That's really great news, to be fair. The fact that you can go all the way back to the beginning of the game, walk all the way to the end of the game, so when you get to the city of the Ancients in the Forgotten Capital, you can traverse all the way back to Calm and pick up a side quest that you ignored at the beginning of the game because you wanted to plow through the main story. It's always nice not to have side quests gated to a certain section of the game. The fact that they're available all the time is a thumbs up from me. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says that in addition to consumables like potions, players will be able to craft things like accessories and armor. They'll also be able to upgrade their armor with this system. Certain mercenary quests will center around crafting. I think it was a matter of time that we're going to see some kind of crafting mechanic in Final Fantasy VII when it came to the compilation, this trilogy that they're creating, and the fact that we got one of the directors saying that a big inspiration for them was Horizon Zero Dawn, and seeing that in these gameplay elements, it's pretty prevalent in those, and you know, I've got no complaints with that because I want more RPG elements in my Final Fantasy VII, and they're bringing it to the table with all this customization. And the last quote I'm going to pull from today is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director Hamaguchi says that the party's encounter with Yuffie was moved to someplace fixed so that players could connect her with a particular point in the story, therefore having a deeper sense of relationship. Plus, now she's not missable. So I think we've seen from the gameplay footage that as we enter Lower Junon, there is indeed kind of along the lines that I predicted, that they have their own kind of fishing boats and routes to get their own supply because they're not getting anything from Upper Junon, and that it's being threatened by this monster, which is Bottom's Well, but I think it's got a new name. I think it's like the Terror of the Seas or something like that. And instead of Princella being in trouble, she directs us to the trouble, and the one that is in trouble is Yuffie. And again, Mr. Dolphin makes an appearance, and I'm just getting very excited getting into this because there is just so much juicy information included in all of the things that we've seen. So there we have it, just a few quotes that I want to go over and just kind of get the hype ball rolling, because we're only months away. It might seem long, but the route that we're going to be going through and all the news that's going to be dropping left, right and center, I'm going to be covering it here on the channel. Is there something that has been released during this kind of like big blowout of Rebirth content that you want to know more about? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'm sure I'll get to it and make a video. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, it supports me a lot. Hit the notification bell so you're notified of that content, and again, get involved in the comment section below and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.